what is up, everyone? It is Mr. Dean, and we are back with our happy hour. We have reached episode 21 of the special hour, which means, Donovan, are you ready to get blackout drunk?
Hi there, it's Donovan.
Okay, on a real note, though. Yeah, welcome back to the special hour. We're here with episode 21. I am here, as usual, with my co-host, DonovanDud. What's up, Donovan?
Hi there. Yeah, episode 21. 20 is already the milestone, but this is the funny milestone, and I got my Jack and Daniels right here. I got a screwdriver here. Got cranberry juice and vodka. It's great. I can barely think. I'm very legally drinking this, obviously.
No, I already got my moonshine. Like I'm ready to go. I got my only 90 proof and higher for me personally. But okay, we are officially
start a podcast.
An alcoholic podcast now. Yeah. So yeah, today's been pretty good. Or just like this past week in general, I've been very productive. Last episode, I talked a little bit about how I had been watching movies. I've still been doing that this past week. In fact, I think this week I've seen 4 movies, and 2 of them were Heath Ledger. No, 3 of them were Heath Ledger movies. This past week. Yeah, rest in peace. An absolute insanely talented person at acting. And what's funny is, the movies I saw this week were all completely different genres, no consistency at all. First, I saw The Dark Knight, which is of course one of the Heath Ledger movies. Yes, to this day, for some reason I had just never gone around to watching it, and I understand what the hype was about. I mean, I could talk about of course the iconic performance from Heath Ledger as Joker. The only thing I didn't like about the movie, though, is that Batman didn't kill people. That's
Batman should have just brutally murdered people. He should have just run over the Joker. I don't know why he didn't do that. This movie clearly misunderstands the character.
The whole time I was watching, I was low-key just thinking, I'd rather be watching Batman v Superman because that movie had a director that understood Batman as a character.
Yeah, exactly. I wish he branded all of his criminals. Once he defeated the Joker, I wish he just branded him like a cow, right on his forehead.
No, but on a real note, though, Dark Knight, amazing movie if you have not watched it. It actually is... It's I forgot it was made in 2008. It's so
and it's filmed in Chicago. I like to joke to my friends we live in Gotham, which is partially true.
And then the next movie I watched, also a Heath Ledger movie, we saw Brokeback Mountain. It's so funny going from Dark Knight to Brokeback Mountain. But really good forbidden love story. Very sad. If you've never seen Brokeback Mountain, get the tear box ready. Tear box. I meant tissue.
Yeah, I have a whole box of just tears. The life of an architecture student.
Yeah, Donovan, how many episodes in a row are we gonna go with you complaining about being an architecture student?
What have I done with my life?
And then the third movie I watched was Coach Carter, which is for anyone that doesn't know, it's actually a really motivating movie about this basketball coach that benched all of his players for failing their classes. Apparently it's a true story. Samuel L. Jackson is the aura farmer that he always is in that movie. He just he was so just I don't want to repeat the same word, but he's just
full
had aura,
of life.
Donovan. It's awesome. But yeah, no, Coach Carter, all 3 movies I watched were really good. And then I'd already seen 10 Things I Hate About You, which is another Heath Ledger movie. So this was the week of Heath Ledger, basically. But I had already seen that one before. But anyway, this is supposed to be a gaming podcast, and here I am talking about The Dark Knight and that one gay cowboy movie. So we need to... what have you been up to?
We're very diverse. Let me complain about architecture even more. Basically, the past entire week, I have been slaving away at making a model of a house. Either that's drawing or actually slurring my words because I'm drunk. Actually physically building the model, which does sound fun on the outside. You're building out. It's like Legos, but no, it is excruciatingly painful when you have to basically get everything precisely done. and your professor, like she sees one wrong mistake in your model, she's going to be like, yeah, take that out, redo it, break it apart if you have to. It's a profession of perfection, fortunately and unfortunately. But I guess the fun part is that it's part of all the development process, which kind of leans into the development of video games, which is why probably I've been on a obsessive high lately of diving into what goes into the making of video games. But I have just been constantly grinding. That's just the TLDR.
It's the life of an architecture student. Has anything else been going on outside of school, or has it literally just been?
It was literally just that. If we head on over to the special selects right now, I do not.
Yeah. Fuck what I had to say. That's cool.
I haven't been playing video games much, but with the beauty of the Nintendo Switch 2, since I've been basically working almost nonstop, I do allocate some break time, maybe 30 minutes to an hour. And, it's a perfect time to just either talk to friends, eat lunch or dinner, or whip out the Switch 2 and play some Age of Imprisonment. And that game is pretty well suited for the handheld. It's a great example of a good Nintendo Switch game where there's some missions that are story driven and basically the main quest. I leave those for TV mode at home. Meanwhile, I'll do the honestly more mindless checklisty battles on the go. So those types of battles last probably like 5 minutes each. So it's a perfect pastime. So I've been grinding away at Age of Imprisonment. What about you?
Well, have your opinions on Age of Imprisonment changed at all since last week? Because I remember you talked about it in our last episode.
Well, I still haven't progressed much through the story. There's still some unanswered questions in my mind. I think the characters are pretty fun. There's some that are like kind of whatever. The voice acting's pretty decent. I've seen some people dogging on Zelda's voice actress, and they've been dogging on her voice actress ever since Breath of the Wild 8 years ago. And I would like to say her voice acting in Breath of the Wild was a little bit shoddy, but like she's definitely improved over the years. And yeah, this she's giving a great performance here. As for the gameplay, it's fun and mindless. I'll say that it is a great use of time or waste of time to basically distract me from all the work that I have to do. It's fun on the go as well. So that's my TLDR for Age of Imprisonment.
It sounds like with the whole mindless fun thing, that's kind of what you were saying last week too. So that's not too surprising.
I've been doing the smaller quests on the go, so not too many story quests. Just you got to defeat these guys and save this part of Hyrule and stuff. So I've been doing those.
For me, I've been gathering footage for the 1,000-Year Door on the Switch, which I think we've talked about the 1,000-Year Door kind of on the podcast, but not a ton. Because I'm white boy Nintendo YouTuber that doesn't play JRPGs.
Nintendolan right here.
Yeah. Donovan, I want to make a pact here on the show. Okay, I promise that one day I will actually play. I will play a proper JRPG and talk about it on the show. It will happen.
Xenoblade's right there.
Okay, all right. Well, I have Xenoblade, so we can make that happen. We can make that happen because I want to beat the allegations. Okay, I don't want to be blonde white Nintendo YouTuber number 77. Okay, like I want to
1,000-Year Door is still pretty good. From what
it's awesome. Yeah.
As someone who's never played the game.
Yeah. So the 1,000-Year Door. There are some small things that upon replaying it, my opinion has slightly changed on, and some of it may have to do with the remake on the Switch. But for one thing, the pacing is, in my opinion, a little bit worse than the original game because I feel like the chapters for some reason feel like a little bit sloggier at certain points.
I thought it'd be like a pretty much 1-for-1 remake.
No, because here's the thing: is on the Switch, you can't skip through the text boxes, and I'm pretty. Let me Google really quick because I'm pretty sure in the original you could. Oh wait, the 1,000-Year Door. This is the most professional podcast. We come prepared. The 1,000-Year Door GameCube. Can you skip text boxes? So they removed it. And wait. The AI overview says no, but then someone on Reddit says, do we know why they decided to remove text?
This is why AI is not going to take over. It's still stupid.
Okay, so yeah, I'm pretty sure in the original you could skip the text. Correct me if I'm wrong. But what I do know is on the Switch you cannot. And there's points where, like, you know, as much as I love the dialogue in A Thousand Year Door and it's really fun, like, there's points where I'm trying to, like, you know, I'm trying to get through it because especially during the cutscenes in between chapters, like where you're playing as Peach, does kind of break the pace of the game a little bit. The one thing I will say about The Thousand Year Door compared to the original is there's way more unique characters and plot lines going on. You know, in the original Paper Mario on the N64, it's just like you're collecting the 7 star spirits to defeat Bowser. In A Thousand Year Door, you're trying to literally stop a demon soul from escaping the Thousand Year Door, and the X-Nauts are trying to conquer the world. It's a very different plot, and I do appreciate that aspect of it. And there are things about the Thousand Year Door I also think are stronger than the original game. I think that the battle system is way more well designed. The Switch remake looks absolutely stunning. A lot of people complain that it's 30 frames per second. Personally, that part of it does not bother me at all. In fact, in a way, I kind of prefer it being 30 because it kind of gives it that like storybook feel.
I see.
Overall, right now I'm halfway through. I'm in the middle of chapter 5, so I think by next week I'm gonna be done with it, and then I can give my definitive like which game I prefer. Because I always grew up thinking, you know, the Thousand Year Door is way better than, you know, the original. It's like better in every way, and to some extent, yes, like there are aspects of the Thousand Year Door that are better than the original, but low key there are also parts of the original that I prefer. So I'm kind of going back and forth on it. But yeah, once again, some of those nitpicks, like the pacing, are a little bit exacerbated on the Switch remake, whereas on the original, they weren't as much of a big deal. So yeah, I'll come back next week and we can give my more definitive opinion on it.
When this episode comes out, we will be playing, or I will be playing Kirby Air Riders. Are you picking this up at launch?
Oh, absolutely I will be. I'm very excited about Kirby Air Riders. We already kind of talked about the demo last week, so there's not really a ton more for us to touch on pre-launch, but that definitely is another thing that will probably be the main focus of next week's podcast. But yeah, so do you want to get into the...
Oh, I can't wait for this headline. You already know what's going to happen, dear listener.
Donovan, take it away. Just take it away.
Wii Fit Plus now on Nintendo Music. So when I go bench 5,000 pounds like a big man, I'm not going to be listening to my workout playlist on like Spotify or Apple Music. No. I'm firing up Nintendo Music and listening to Wii Fit Plus.
Just like... I don't like. What do you want me to say that we haven't said in every episode before this about Nintendo Music?
I was listening to this in the car ride here just to get a sense of what I'm missing out, and I'm like, ooh, I feel like speeding with this music.
Like, I just have no comment. I actually just have nothing to say. I've never felt more apathy from a Nintendo announcement for Nintendo Music as I have with Wii Fit Plus.
This is a weekly tradition now. I have figured out the pattern. I don't know why it took me a year to figure out the pattern, but they upload music every Tuesday, and it's a coin toss to whether it's a good edition or Wii Fit Plus.
That's kind of beautiful that they do it every Tuesday, because that's also the day that we record the special hour.
Dude, it's perfect material. They're supplying us.
It's almost like they're like, what game can we add that Donovan and Matthew will hate the most? And then we can upload that like 3 hours before they record. Mm-hmm. So that way it's like fresh on their minds. But yeah.
We should have Wii Fit Plus as the background game.
Why did you have to say that? I don't even have my Wii U with me. I can't even record that. I could just like steal some gameplay footage of it and not credit the original uploader. I could do that.
Just like every React streamer.
Well, I was going to say that's like a callback to the first episode where I was talking about how I got my origin on YouTube from recording people's videos.
XQC.
Okay, so this is a topic that I was specifically wanting to talk about because I don't know how much you have to add on this one. Have you ever really played The Sims before?
I'm not that familiar.
Okay, so apparently it's rumored that EA is working on a remastered version of The Sims 4 For anyone unfamiliar, I can give a brief little timeline about The Sims and kind of where the series went to shit. But the first two games, this was before EA bought out Maxis. This was way before they started adding microtransactions and, the typical EA stuff to The Sims games. And a lot of people prefer them for other reasons as well. I haven't really played the first two games, so I can't comment personally, but I just know it's kind of like, those are the backbone of the series. The Sims 3 is where EA took over and they started to really force down the expansion packs and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, The Sims 4 originally came out a little bit over a decade ago, and people have been wanting The Sims 5 for a few years now. Especially given how EA has basically all they've been doing with The Sims is expansion pack after expansion pack. They've just kind of turned it into a money factory where they add very nothing content to the game. So I'm a little bit skeptical to see that they're quote unquote remastering The Sims 4, especially because like what does that even mean? Because and also once again, it's just a rumor, nothing's confirmed, but whenever I hear the word remaster, I think of a graphics upgrade, but The Sims 4, in my opinion, already looks fine. The graphics are not the issue that at least I have with The Sims 4. Some people are thinking okay, maybe they're going to completely rework the programming behind the game, add new features. Well, seeing what happened with Plants vs. Zombies Replanted, I'm nervous that they're going to half-ass that if they do that. Probably use AI or some shit to just kind of turn it into a cluttered mess. I don't know exactly what it is they're going to do with The Sims 4 Remastered. I've seen some people say that they might be adding multiplayer online to The Sims, which me personally, that's not something I'm particularly interested in with The Sims. I just wanted to bring this up because I have kind of just been patiently, in my shy boy pose with my two fingers connected, waiting for The Sims 5. And this is kind of like a nail in the coffin, at least for the current timeline, assuming that it's true that we won't be getting The Sims 5 anytime soon.
You'll get The Sims 5 when they completely exhaust ideas for Sims 4. Or the code just completely
They
breaks.
basically have. They've added so much random shit in the form of expansion packs. Because the way The Sims 4 works is you have stuff packs, which I think are $10, game packs, which add a more of a game defining characteristic, not just decorations and stuff, and that's $20, and then expansion packs are $40, and that's your big upgrades that add a new neighborhood or some shit like that. At first I remember whenever I was a kid, because that's how long The Sims 4 has been a thing. I was in middle school whenever they started rolling out these expansion packs. This is 2015. But whenever they first started rolling these out, I was oh, this is cool. I get to, they added the Get to Work expansion. Now I get to go with my sim whenever they go to be a doctor.
I can get a job in the digital world.
Yeah, what's better to avoid the depressing monotony of real life than to get to do the same shit in The Sims? I don't know. I personally am so over the whole expansion pack thing. I'm just over EA. Okay, that's what I'm over. I'm over EA, Donovan.
That's pretty self-explanatory. Does The Sims work well with the mouse?
Do you mean on the Switch 2 or in general?
Oh, in general. Because
The Sims is built for keyboard and mouse. So
I assume a Nintendo Switch 2 edition will work pretty well for.
I think that would. I think that them bringing it over to the Switch 2 and incorporating mouse mode would be a positive. I don't know if that's necessarily what this is saying. Although I'm sure if they're remastering it and they put it on the Switch 2, they probably will add mouse support. But once again, it could be like Plants vs. Zombies where they butcher the mouse support too, so who knows, because it's fucking
does that
EA.
game also have mouse controls on Nintendo Switch 2?
Plants vs. Zombies, yes. And unless if they patched it out, which I'm not sure, whenever the game released on the Switch 2, they made it so the mouse controls were basically unplayable. So hopefully that wouldn't be the case
Classic.
with The Sims as well. I mean, honestly, with The Sims though, I've kind of grown out of it in general. Because the thing with The Sims is, I just get depressed whenever I play that game. Because the thing with The Sims is I remember my freshman year of college, me and my roommate, we had this challenge where we were, racing each other to try to get 1 million simoleons in The Sims 4. And whenever you sit down and play that game for, hours at a time, and you're basically doing everything that you should be doing in real life in game, and then you get off of the game, you're like so dissociated from reality, and it like actually is depressing. So like I don't even like playing The Sims anymore, because it's like I'm like, you know, telling my Sims to work out, or I'm telling my Sim like, all right, learn this new skill. And then I'm just like, why the fuck am I not just doing this in real life? Like why am I sitting here telling my Sim to do the things I know I should be doing? You know what I mean?
It's a wake up call. It makes you self-conscious.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I've never played The Sims. I'm more of an Animal Crossing guy. Actually, I hate all cozy games, and they don't have a place in the gaming world.
I would not call The Sims a cozy game.
Well,
that's anything
judging
but a
by your work ethic.
It's a stressful game.
It might be more stressful. It might be like a Souls-like game.
Yeah, it's basically Dark Souls. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So anyway, moving gears to another third party. This is another rumor once again. So take this with a grain of salt. But according to Nate the Hate, apparently Rockstar has tried getting GTA 6 on the Switch too. Tried. Does that imply that it's not going to be on the Switch too? Which actually that's confirmed, isn't it? Isn't it just Xbox? Well, first it's going to be PC and then it comes to, or no, is it the other way around? Console
it's the
first
other way
and then
around.
PC. Okay, sorry. Yeah, it's going to be on PlayStation and Xbox, and then it's going to come to PC. I was always kind of apprehensive about it being on the Switch too.
I've seen I've listened to Nate the Hate's podcast. I think he's pretty cool, and he does provide some. He has a decent track record, especially when it comes to predicting when Nintendo Directs air. So I have no doubt that he has some industry connections. He does his podcast with Modern Vintage Gamer, who actually is a game developer. So I assume that some of his sources are most likely accurate. So I do kind of trust his word on him saying Rockstar has tried getting GTA 6 on the Switch too. I've read the article. He also said that they tried getting GTA 5 on the Wii U, but that never happened. So they're probably testing it, GTA 6 on every platform, and the Switch 2 is definitely one of them, especially Rockstar is probably seeing the massive success of the Switch 2. They're probably thinking, we don't want to miss out on this lucrative cash cow right here. We should at least try getting GTA 6 on the Switch 2. The question is, did those Switch 2 dev kits survive? Did they not explode?
Because we know GTA 6 is going to be a massive game, which I don't like. I know the Switch 2 has power, but would it even be able to run GTA 6? At the scope that game is going to be at? At least, definitely not to the same quality as other consoles. Yeah, that's
sure. The big question. I mean, if they do get GTA 6 working, playing GTA 6 on a hybrid console would be
crazy,
magical. And it'd be optimized for the system, unlike PC handhelds, which have to go through, the Windows 11, and they have all these different specifications, so it's not directly optimized for a specific kind of PC handheld. And the Steam Deck, well, they're probably working on the Steam Deck too. That's already confirmed. Oh wait, we should talk about the Steam Machine maybe another time, or maybe this episode. But bringing it back to GTA 6, this game is primarily built for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox consoles, which are basically one generation ahead of the Switch 2 in terms of power. I believe, we've already talked about this so many times, but we believe the Nintendo Switch 2, its CPU power levels are on par with the base PS4, maybe a little bit above, because it's cheating with NVIDIA DLSS technology, which is technology that isn't even present in the PS5 and Xbox. So with a little bit of downgrades, GTA 6 being on the Switch 2, I'd say it's more of a 50-50. I'd say right now it's a little bit more of a coin toss than...
I'm not going to get my hopes up. I agree it could go either way. I'm just going to assume it won't be, so that way I don't get my hopes up and then get disappointed.
Yeah,
but
I'm going to assume no, but I wouldn't rule it out. I wouldn't say it's a definite no.
Because it's also like the phrasing of the headline of the article implies that like past tense, like they tried and then they just gave up. So I don't know.
I think they're probably still testing it out. It definitely will not be there. Like the Nintendo Switch 2 version will not be there at launch. If it ever does happen, I would say maybe a year after launch. But if it's like 2 or 3 years after launch, I'll say that's a little bit too late. But I guess better late than never.
Yeah. Did you want to go and touch on the Steam Machine since you brought?
Yes. Have you heard about the Steam Machine?
Yeah. So I don't know all the details about like what the rumors are surrounding specs and all that kind of stuff, but I've seen the concept for it and the fact that it seems like a lot of little things are going in its favor, like how pretty sure online multiplayer is free, right? Like things like that typically you would have to pay for on a console are gonna be just like innately a part of it, which that's awesome. They haven't revealed anything about price yet, right?
No,
I haven't seen anything.
Which is a big question mark.
That's what I'm worried about, because we also talked about the Xbox and how it apparently is going to be like 4 digits in the price range. So I'm scared to see how much the Steam Machine will be. If it is priced reasonably, I think this thing could kill off, or not kill off, but I think it would be a massive dent in PlayStation's market share, because a lot of the people that would be getting a PlayStation 5, this would fulfill those needs, because Sony doesn't really pump out a lot of exclusives for it. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they price this thing.
Yeah, welcome back, Steam Machine. This is actually the Steam Machine 2. Anyone remember the first one? No? Good. That one was a piece of shit. This Steam Machine, however, is looking very enticing. The curveball that I have heard, these are just rumors, but I have heard the power levels of the Steam Machine are actually a little bit lower than a base PS5 and Xbox. It is said to probably be on par with a Series S, maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower. So maybe that'll give us some insight into the price. Maybe $500, $600. That's the big question mark. But I was expecting, given that this is releasing 6 years after the PS5 and the Xbox first launched, I was expecting more powerful hardware. It turns out we are apparently using less powerful hardware than current gen consoles that will be 6 years old once this releases. So that raised an eyebrow, but sure. Power's not everything. We've learned that from Nintendo. This has the benefits of running Steam OS, which is found on things like the Steam Deck, which I have heard is pretty well optimized. Unlike Windows and the Xbox full screen experience on the ROG Ally X, or like just running Windows on a regular PC handheld. I hate tablet mode on Windows. I don't see how that works super well with like a handheld form factor. But this is running SteamOS. Which is basically a layer on top of Linux. But you also have the opportunity to run like any operating system you want. So you can also install Windows on this thing. So it's basically just a pre-built, decently powered PC. Is what I'm hearing. And the front plate looks customizable, and it has an LED strip, which looks kind of fun. And that Steam controller looks god awful. But
I was about to. Okay, that's another thing I forgot to bring up is the controller does not look good.
But Steam loves their trackpads. They have trackpads on the front and the back. If you already have trackpads on the back, I don't see why you need 2 giant ones on the front, which takes up a lot of real estate. I don't get that.
The thing that is the most pressing question in my mind, and this might be something that's already been answered because you're probably more knowledgeable about like the rumors and everything. But is it going to have modding support with Steam? Steam
yeah, I bet so. It's a PC, so you could probably run a ton of emulators. Just run whatever you want.
I was going to say that would be
Windows.
the biggest, honestly, in my opinion, that's like the biggest selling point for it compared to buying a PS5, for example. Even if it has less power, the fact that it would be so much more accessible for you to mod stuff and run emulators, and it's just the extent of indie games that are on Steam with Steam Greenlight, albeit a lot of those aren't really good, but still, I do think that, you know, this thing does have a market. I don't know how many people would buy a console for like, I'm going to be honest, I'm not really interested personally in buying it. Like, I'm fine with just using my PC for Steam, but for people that don't have a PC and they're looking to kind of experience like the world of gaming through what's possible on Steam and the extensive library, I could, depending on the price point, I could honestly see this being, you know, worth the price.
Yeah.
So
we talked about this in an earlier episode about Xbox's next generation console that will be in like 4 digits in terms of price, apparently. And we talked about how it's basically going to be a PC. I feel like this is what that Xbox will be, and Steam just or Valve just beat Xbox to the punch. This is basically what the next generation Xbox is probably going to be. Essentially a PC, a pre-built PC that also acts as a console. Me personally, I was thinking about this when this was first announced. I'm like, this is actually pretty enticing. It's basically a PC. No, you don't have to pay for online things. Maybe I'd bite. But then I thought about it and I'm like, okay, what do I actually use PC gaming for? Because I play everything primarily on Nintendo Switch 2 and PS5. Both of those consoles basically pretty much touch what I'm interested in gaming. Whenever I boot up my Mac to play like a desktop class video game, what am I really booting that up for? I'm booting that up for Minecraft Java. What else? Lethal Company sometimes, but
which Minecraft Java isn't even on Steam.
Yeah.
So.
But I guess you can just install Windows, but that's just a whole nother can of worms of unintuitive design where you just have to swap operating systems. But what else do I have on my Mac? I have Stray, but that's also on PS5. Resident Evil 8 also on PS5. Like, what am I gonna use a PC for that I already, like a Steam machine for, that I don't already have the use for, or the use is already being provided by a Nintendo Switch to a PS5 and my Mac? What, League of Legends? Oh, Valorant or something? God forbid.
Once again, those are both games that are not on Steam, because those are.
You're right. Well, you can also, again, you could probably get this run. It does run Linux, so you could probably. Oh well, games don't really run that well on Linux. You could probably, again, I would just install Windows and you get the.
But this is just so much
stores.
work.
Yeah, again, this is just PC gaming. There's so many hoops of just unintuitive design where you just have to go through so many things. You gotta install Windows. You gotta basically swap an operating system. You gotta go through a billion different stores to find the games that you want. And personally, like, I got a PS5, a Switch, and a Mac. I don't think I would need another system. The only reason I would switch from my PS5 to this is free online multiplayer, but low-key, with PlayStation Plus, you get multiplayer, yes, but you also get a ton of deals and stuff. Depends on what you think it's worth it, if it's worth it or not. But me personally, I'd probably recommend this to maybe a couple friends, but for me, I'm already covered.
Now that I think about it, the market for this thing is kind of niche. It's definitely in a better position than potentially the Xbox, because at least it probably will have a pretty fair price point. But the Xbox, I mean, it could be double, like what you were saying. This
the big three right now is PlayStation, Nintendo, and Valve. Xbox
I was not ready for Valve.
Be killed by this. Okay.
Yeah, no, Xbox.
Let's make this conversation more fun. Steam machine or next generation Xbox? Which one you buying?
Well, probably neither. But if I had to, if I had to get one, definitely not the Xbox.
Well, Yeah, that is the Steam Machine. They also announced a VR headset. That sounds cool. I'm not too big into VR gaming, but if I had to play VR games, maybe I'd probably pick that one.
But it's like, once again, though, the thing with console gaming, because this is going back to what you were saying about how, like, oh, but there's Minecraft Java Edition, but you could probably just, like, install a different operating system. You could play Valorant, but you could probably just, download a new OS for that. Insert any, like, I don't know, what other game is not on Steam that's on PC? And there's a whole multitude of them.
I think Rockstar isn't on Steam. You have to buy, or you have to get the Rockstar launcher.
Yeah, same. It's the same with like.
So it's like,
so yeah, like let's just say you want to play Plants vs Zombies: Garden Warfare, GTA. I don't know, any other game that's on EA, or maybe
if you want to play Fortnite, you got to get the Epic Games launcher.
Yeah, Fortnite's another one. So I'm saying, whenever it comes to consoles, one of the big appeals for me is the fact that you can just buy a game and play it. You don't have to deal with all that bullshit. And the second you buy a Steam machine and you have to deal with downloading Linux or whatever the case is, then it's like I've lost the appeal of console gaming. And at least in my opinion, some people probably would be unbothered by that, and the fact that it's a cheaper alternative to playing PC would pull them in, which, if that's you, that's fair enough. Me personally, I kind of like the aspect of a console where it's just very streamlined.
In terms of design, like, design is supposed to solve problems and make your life easier and more convenient. Sure, people can be unbothered by all these different hoops that you have to go through, and more power to you. You can do all these things on the Steam machine, yes, with an asterisk. In my opinion, I do like it. I do like design better when it's more intuitive, more easy to get things done, more efficient, more streamlined. And the Steam machine, yes, you can do all these things, yeah, but you're gonna have to work to get those things, which some people do like.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, once again, if you're someone that enjoys that, that's fine. It's just, I'm speaking from my own perspective, and that's part of the reason I'm not really probably gonna get this. It kind of depends on more information. Once again, the fact that it has modding support on a console and free online multiplayer are massive pulls in. And I imagine that you'll be able to connect your own controller as well. So you probably don't have to use the Steam controller. So, like, there are pros to having this thing. It's just some of those things, with the context of how, like what you said, I already have a Switch 2 and a PS5. So most of my gaming needs are already covered by those two systems. So I don't know. I do think it's a more niche market.
There is definitely a market for this.
Oh, for sure.
It's definitely not the mass market. Imagine explaining to little Timmy how he wants to play Fortnite on the Steam machine.
And there are people that want to get into PC gaming, but they don't because of how expensive getting a PC is. So I'd like, for those people, I mean, this is probably kind of for them.
Pretty good buy, yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Once again, we probably need more definitive information about price and all that kind of stuff, though. Okay, so we still have 4 pretty significant topics and we're 40 minutes in, so let's go ahead and jump into this. Okay, so the Legend of Zelda movie. We finally have an image of production which has officially began, and it looks good so far from like what we saw.
Before this image released, there are 2 dudes who actually stumbled upon the filming of this. Which is really funny because the timing. Maybe Nintendo's like, all right, here you go, the official images. Please stop leaking our stuff.
What do you mean they stumbled upon? Like, aren't they in the wilderness?
There's these 2 dudes who just so happened to be looking from afar the filming of the Legend of Zelda movie. They like zoomed in on probably their phones, or maybe they had a telephoto lens, and we saw the actress of Zelda. We saw who presumably is Impa, and we saw Hyrulean horses. We just saw they just saw production, and I think this was 2 days before these images released.
That's so funny. I don't know how I did not see that. No, that's awesome. Wait, so like, were they just randomly out there, and then they were just like, what the fuck's going on?
Like, the video
there?
just started. There were like 2 dudes. They were whispering to each other. They're like, we're looking at the filming of The Legend of Zelda, and they zoomed in. We they're probably like hiding behind like they were probably like at a higher vantage point, maybe behind some bushes or trees. They like zoomed into the branches and you could see like glimpses of the movie.
Okay, well, yeah. So from what I have seen, which is like the official images, the actors look good. Like they look, I mean, especially like Link. I mean, aside from the hair being a little bit shorter than like what I'm used to seeing with the games, it looks like Link. Same thing with Zelda. The scenery is it's like doing its thing. It's scenic. You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah.
we only really, I don't know what else to say. Well, like we only have 3 images to go off of. Like there's not really a ton to talk about, but like it looks good.
I'm glad they're filming on location.
Yeah.
This is in New Zealand, from what I've heard, same as The Lord of the Rings.
Can you imagine this whole thing was just like CG? Just like the entire
like the
movie.
new Moana trailer.
Oh no. Wait, can we talk? Okay, damn it, Donovan, you should not have brought that up because now I need to talk about this. Dude, why do we need a live action remake of every fucking movie? Like, why? Why?
When I saw those images, I would just go very briefly on this Moana trailer. I saw images of her at sea, and I've been reminiscing on the days when Disney actually shot things on the actual sea with Pirates of the Caribbean. Miss those days.
Didn't they, correct me if I'm wrong, but did they not literally just release Moana 2 like 1 year ago?
Yes.
That's like a new movie.
Remembered it.
Yeah, and then now they're already okay, back on topic. I'm gonna rant about this. Okay.
We see Zelda in a blue tunic and Link finally back in green. Awesome to see. I did make a video on the wild era of Zelda, and I did say, this era may truly never go away. Maybe the movie isn't directly adapting Breath of the Wild, but you will definitely see its influences just throughout the future of Zelda.
I think it's honestly impossible to say right now. Like literally, what the images that we saw is Link, Zelda, Wilderness. Like we really
can't get more generic than that.
Yeah.
What do you hope for this movie?
I was literally about to ask you, what do you hope for the movie? Okay,
you just saw Maze Runner with Wes Ball's first movie, and he's directing this movie.
Well, and Maze Runner is obviously a more dystopian vibe of a movie, which if they go with the wild era, it could very well fall in line with that dystopian atmosphere. In terms of what I would want from this movie, because it's live action, and the fact that it's live action does scare me. It looks like we do have good actors, and they look like their character, and it looks like they're taking the movie seriously. Anytime there's a live action video game movie, especially with Nintendo, I get petrified of it. I just really hope it doesn't end up being corny as hell. Honestly, that's what I'm hoping for. I just want it to be like a serious Legend of Zelda movie, and for it to be palatable for people who are not already familiar with the series, and kind of like a good entryway for people to be able to relate to the I was gonna say the Zelda story, even though there's Zelda story differs so much from game to game. It ranges anything from saving Zelda from Ganon to Link's Awakening, where everything is a dream and it's like a philosophical take on life. You know what I mean? So just honestly something I can go to the movie with my mom and dad, and they can understand what's happening, and it still isn't just like a kid's movie. Like it kind of appeals to everyone. What about you? What are you looking for out of this?
What I hope for this movie, I actually hope that this is an original story. I hope they're not adapting, which it doesn't seem like it. I hope they're not adapting like a direct game. I actually hope this is a true original Zelda story. Maybe could even be canon somewhere in the timeline. I want them to treat this movie like it's a Zelda game. Every Zelda game has its own wacky story. You got Ocarina of Time, that's kind of the white bread, and then you got Wind Waker with the sea, it's so different. Then you got Twilight Princess back with like the whole Twilight realm. You got Midna, all these original characters. I hope this movie kind of does the same thing, where they make like an original story, original circumstances, characters. I hope they treat this story with the same amount of care that they do treat their own original video game stories. So I hope they're ambitious with this story. I hope they do well, and I hope it's not just jingling keys. Oh my gosh, it's Ganondorf. Oh, it's a Goron. It's a Korok. Oh my god. I hope it's not like that.
It's a Bokoblin.
I'm so hungry I can eat an Octorok. So
one thing I also do want to see is what the fuck is the line he says in the CGI game? Like, what's that, Prince, or some shit like that? I want them to maybe like give us a little tease.
Boring around here.
Yeah, you have a whole treasure trove of comedy gold in the CGI. Sorry, what were you saying? No, you were about to say something else.
Zelda games are very prestigious. They're some of the best in just the video game medium, and I hope that they try and strive for that same amount of quality, but in terms of movies. That's all I want.
I will say I do want an original like story to follow for the movie, with one exception. If they were to make a movie about Majora's Mask, I would not complain. The main reason why is because Majora's Mask, the game itself, to me personally, is kind of unappealing, like, to actually play it. But the story of the game is so damn captivating that seeing a movie of it, especially if they actually took it seriously and they gave it the dark atmosphere that it deserves, I think that could translate so well into, a movie form. And actually showing, like, imagine if they turned it into like a thriller and they actually showed like the moon looming over, and
we have a grotesque transformation of Link turning into like a Goron. Wes Ball seems like a Zelda fan. He seems very passionate, hoping for the best.
Okay, so Metroid Prime is ass.
It's terrible. It's millennial Reddit humor. Have you seen the previews?
Yeah, so they added some NPC that like yaps a lot.
Have you seen the overview trailer as well?
I haven't seen the overview trailer. I've mainly been watching so what I've seen is that aside from the NPC that they added, that's like a companion. I forgot the character's name. For anyone that hasn't seen them, something like that. Yeah, apparently, it's kind of like just following you around and just like, it's like comedic relief, basically, with massive air quotes around comedy. Aside from that, it seems like people like the game from what they played at the preview. Like, I think that it runs incredibly well. People say that like the introduction's really good. They didn't have anything involving the desert, like the open terrain or the bike in the demo. So it's unclear how that's going to work in the final product. But I'm really like not liking what I'm seeing about this character that they're adding, because for me personally, one of the draws to Metroid and Metroid Prime especially is the isolated feeling, which I talked about a few episodes ago, and this would be shitting all over that in my opinion. So I'm not going to be completely closed-minded, until I'm still going to get the game because it's Metroid Prime 4. But I'm definitely a little bit nervous about that impeding on the game itself.
I'm slightly worried. Slightly. I'm still very, very excited for this game. It's just, this kind of breaks the tension. Okay, I don't think the jokes are even that bad. Some of them are kind of decently funny, especially with like just Samus just staring at him. I bet Samus is just as pissed off, but it's just it feels out of place a little bit. It's like
100%.
It's a weird change of pace.
Because like, imagine, like, with Metroid Prime Remastered, for example, there were some times in that game where something actually would like startle you. Like, I remember there was that, I forgot what the area was called, but like, it's whenever you go into that lab and then the lights shut off and then you're having to like kill the Metroids that are like flying around. Like, I remember the first time I played that game, I was like shitting my pants. Like, that shit was like
Miles literally screams when an enemy appears.
Yeah, like, imagine. No, that's what I'm saying, is imagine that same thing. Like, you're walking into a dark area and you get jump scared by an enemy. Normally in Metroid, you'd be like, oh shit, I need to lock in. Imagine if in this game, fucking Miles goes like, oh no, what is that thing? Like, I'd be like, shut the fuck up.
It's interesting. Just, it's the thing is, though, I did a whole video on the development of the whole trilogy. This is definitely a Kensuke Tanabe edition. He's always wanted to expand on the Galactic Federation, and we've already seen parts of this in Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. The Galactic Federation played a decent role in that game. There was voice acting was first introduced with that game. This seems like a little bit of a step forward in that case, which I'm not completely against. I wasn't one of the people that were absolutely like groaning and turned off on the fact that the Galactic Federation and just other people other than Samus played a role in Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. I kind of liked that in Corruption, but that doesn't Corruption is also seen as the weakest in the trilogy, and some people did not like those additions, and it feels like they're kind of doubling down on that fact. And I do think it does expand the world of Metroid, and I do think this can be done very well. You can still get that feeling of isolation. I mean, the whole inspiration of Metroid is Alien. Alien had a ton of people. Yeah, all those people died and only Sigourney Ripley lived. But you could still get that feeling of isolation and dread with a group of people. And since you didn't watch the overview trailer, I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off. He is not the only one joining Samus on this adventure. There are multiple Federation troopers that will be joining this ragtag team, and they all have their distinct personalities. It just seems like Miles is the annoying one, which, I mean, like, there's always that one character that's slightly annoying, but he's not even that obnoxious, low-key. I've been drowning myself in these previews. He's not even that annoying. He doesn't, people are acting like the whole game he's like Midna or Navi. He's just with you the entire time. That cannot be further from the case. He's just with you for probably like 10 to 15 minutes of a section, and I assume that's probably going to be the case with all the sections. And I've seen in parts of the trailer, you'll even have moments where multiple people will be like joining along in this team and helping you out with puzzles. And this is just the starting area, so I assume these puzzles and these situations will progressively get more interesting and tougher. I see potential. I mean, these guys in the overview trailer were like, I can't wait to get home to my family. Bitch, you're gonna die. I hope Nintendo is ambitious with their character writing. Retro Studios makes incredible lore and stories, and I hope that continues with this game. I've been following this game for so long. They've been hiring top tier talent from like different developers from like Halo or Doom. There's even moments in Halo and Doom where they had the obnoxious character or the nerdy character, and Master Chief, Doomslayer, and Samus. They're all silent protagonists. And those games are great. They're phenomenal, or sometimes phenomenal. The Halo trilogy is pretty good. Doom Eternal, pretty good.
I think that's fair, and I agree with the idea that, once again, we haven't seen the full game, and you probably are right that he doesn't play as big of a role as what the previews may be giving people the impression of if they haven't drowned themselves in it. I guess part of the reason I'm so apprehensive about it is with some other games like Ratchet and Clank on PS4, for example, where you constantly have characters like talking in the background. I remember I literally would mute the game because I got so annoyed with it. And I just don't want that to have to be the case.
Yeah, I hope it's not. I feel like Miles, like, we've only seen a portion of this story. I feel like, obviously there's probably going to be, I hope, character development. I feel like Miles he's going to grow on me, and we're going to actually feel like we have to protect these soldiers that they're part of our ragtag team, and we got to get out of here together. I feel like hopefully all these soldiers will grow on me. Nintendo has been a little bit pussy when it comes to character writing recently and not committing hard enough. So I hope Retro Studios picks up the slack and delivers a heartfelt story. One thing that does rub me the wrong way is not even Miles. It's the fact that in the previous Metroid Prime games, we've been able to see Samus behind the visor. We've been able to see her eyes, just her eyes alone tell 1,000 words. Even in Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, her eyes just showed so much emotion. In Prime 4 Beyond, they took away that I don't know how I feel about that. We can't see her eyes behind the visor anymore. So every time Miles is speaking, Samus just stands there with a blank stare saying nothing. If Samus has to have like a singular voice line, right? Or she's just gonna be like this silent doofus like Link, just standing there stone cold faced while these people are like, I don't know, crying or like having fun or like scared, and Samus is just like blank.
Well, you know Nintendo loves their stoic characters, so
I don't know why they took away her eyes. I'm like, oh, that kind of annoys me. But very high hopes. I'm hoping this game is a masterpiece. It can't not be, right? Right?
That's one of my favorite sentences that's ever been said on a special hour is, I have really high hopes. I'm hoping.
I'm puffing the hopium.
Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about for today is the Game Awards. So our nominees have been revealed. There are two specific things that are interesting. First is not surprising. It's Donkey Kong Bonanza and Expedition 33 being nominated for Game of the Year. Donovan, I know you're on Team Expedition 33. What are your thoughts? Is it going to win?
Okay, so I do think it is most likely going to be an Expedition 33 cocksucking fest this year. The thing is, though, when I was casting my votes, this is just a yearly thing that I do with myself and my friends. We just watch the Game Awards. Last year was actually pretty good. It was actually a pretty good show. So I'm excited. I'm usually excited for the Game Awards season. So I like Claire Obscure Expedition 33. I love that game. It is really great. It's a fun turn-based RPG with real-time action elements that I think just pushes the genre forward. I like Claire Obscure Expedition 33 as a piece of art, but I did like Donkey Kong Bonanza as a game more. So I put my vote for Donkey Kong Bonanza because what award show is this?
Yeah, I don't think Donkey Kong's gonna win. I think Expedition 33 is gonna win, but
I do think it's probably gonna win, which I'd say it deserves the win. But I like it more as a piece of art, but I like Donkey Kong Bonanza more as a game.
Okay. I mean, I haven't played Expedition 33 because, once again, I am a Americanized, whitewashed white boy. Did I just say whitewashed white boy? Wow. I am a non-JRPG playing Bing Bing Woohoo white boy. So I have not played Expedition 33, but like I said before, I will play a JRPG and talk about it on the show. And then the one that's more interesting to me, though, is that Mario Kart World, our favorite game to complain about not being on Nintendo Music because of how good its soundtrack is, did not get nominated for Best Soundtrack. And I remember someone jokingly tweeted that it's because it isn't on Spotify. Which is kind of funny.
It does say, sponsored by Spotify.
Yeah, do you think that that's actually why?
I don't know. I was more surprised that Donkey Kong Bonanza didn't get nominated for Soundtrack of the Year.
Yeah. I mean, I can't believe Mario Kart didn't. That's because Mario Kart World soundtrack. That's even the people that don't like Mario Kart World. That's what they say is oh yeah, this game's soundtrack is absurd.
I don't understand why Bonanza didn't get nominated, but for Mario Kart, maybe some of the judges were like, "Oh, this is a bunch of remakes. We can't."
That's true.
You can't add that in. I like to disagree, but I'm just more surprised that Bonanza didn't get nominated. But I think Expedition 33 should win that one.
There we go with the Expedition 33 plays.
I'm contributing to the cocksucking.
Donovan doing tricks on it, as always.
I do think I love the world map theme. I love the main theme. I do think some of the battle themes in Expedition 33 are a little bit overrated. Sometimes they sound more like clown music than a battle music, low key. But the main theme, the world map themes, they carry hard and they are phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean that's basically all I had to bring to the table. I'm excited to talk about what wins after the Game Awards happens.
Oh yeah,
that'll be in a few episodes.
You know what got nominated for Best Adaptation? The Minecraft, not the Minecraft movie, a Minecraft movie.
Well, like what else was on the ballot though? Because
I'm surprised. It didn't come out this year. I think it was too late. Actually, I don't know. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 didn't get nominated. The Last of Us Season 2 got nominated, and people have thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, I've seen people not like Season 2 of The Last of Us, but I've seen more people not like the Minecraft movie, so like...
I voted Devil May Cry, even though I never watched it, but low-key, I'm gonna switch my vote right now to the Minecraft movie. I think that would be really hilarious.
Chicken Jockey,
and then I hope everyone in the Peacock Theater just throws their popcorn at Jeff Keighley. Going back to the Game of the Year, other than Expedition 33 and Duck Hunt Bonanza, we have Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, which is Hollow Knight 2, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. A lot of... There's 4 2s in this. Have you ever heard of Kingdom Come Deliverance?
I have not, but I saw someone was like excited that it was on there on my Twitter timeline. So like shout out to that person. I forgot who it was, but I hope it wins and you get to be happy. That'd be awesome.
I am surprised that Ghost of Yote didn't get nominated.
The only other one of those I'm really familiar with is Silksong. I don't think that's gonna win, but I mean shout out Silksong. Shout out Team Cherry.
Yeah. Maybe once the Game Awards actually airs, we can go deeper into this subject, but we are running out of time.
I'm sorry. I love how I'm shouting out companies as if they give a single fuck about us.
Hey, Team Cherry, hi! From the special hour, yay! Hey, Supergiant Games.
Okay, so yeah, thank you everyone for tuning into this episode of the special hour. We had no questions this week. We'll be back to that next week though. So if you have any questions about anything, not just gaming, feel free to join our Discord server and ask away in there, or you can ask in the comments if you want as well. Donovan, where can the people find you on the internet?
Find me, DonovanDud, on YouTube. I have not uploaded a video recently, but by the time this comes out, I probably will be talking about the Iwata Asks interviews. Those always have fun treats. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram, and you can primarily I'm slurring again because of the alcohol. You can primarily interact with me on Discord.
He said a slur.
The Nintendo Boys.
Sorry.
Where can we find you?
What's up, everyone? If you enjoyed my voice or the things I have to say, feel free to check me out on YouTube. I'm MrDean44. I do lots of Nintendo reviews, retrospectives, rankings, discussions, all that kind of stuff. I'm also on Blue Sky and Twitter, so you can follow me on there if you want or not. It's up to you. And then I also have a Discord server called the Dean Kingdom, just your typical Discord server stuff. So, bye.